He was just a little boy in worn-out shoes standing at the edge of a dusty roadside, waving at a passing group of bikers with the biggest smile you could imagine. None of them knew his name. None of them knew his story. But that single wave stopped a whole convoy of roaring engines, and by the next morning, those bikers returned with something that not only stunned the town, but changed the boy's life forever. Before we begin, hit the subscribe button if you believe kindness still exists in this world and should be shared more than anything else. It was a warm Saturday morning in the small town of Red Oak, Alabama, the kind of place where life moved at its own slow pace and people waved even if they didn't know you. The sun was bright, the roads lightly coated with dust, and birds perched on telephone wires like we're watching the world unfold. The sound of engines rumbling grew louder on Highway 52, and an entire convoy of custom motorcycles rolled through the town, heading toward the lake for their weekend charity ride. Among the townspeople watching the bikers pass was a young boy named Liam Walker, a 7-year-old with bright blue eyes and sun-bleached hair that curled slightly at the ends. He lived with his mother, Jessica, in a small home near the road. Life hadn't been easy for them. Liam's father, a truck driver, had passed away 2 years earlier in an accident, leaving Jessica to raise Liam alone. She worked 2 part-time jobs, trying to keep food on the table and save enough for Liam's school supplies, which always felt like a never-ending uphill battle. That Saturday morning, Liam stood barefoot on the front yard dirt patch, wearing his old red t-shirt that had faded from too many washes. He always loved watching the bikers ride by. They looked powerful, free, unstoppable, everything he wished he could be one day. The loud engines didn't scare him, they excited him. Something about those riders made him feel like heroes lived right here on Earth, not just in comic books. As the convoy approached, Liam lifted his hand high and waved enthusiastically, jumping a little on his toes to make sure they saw him. He didn't expect anything in return. He just loved being noticed, even for a second. One biker near the front, a tall man with a silver beard and sunglasses, noticed Liam first. He nudged the rider beside him, pointing at the boy. A few more bikers turned their heads, saw the little kid waving like the world depended on it, and without hesitation, several raised their hands back. Some revved their engines playfully, making the boy laugh. Others offered a simple wave. But something unusual happened. Instead of just riding past, the convoy slowed down, almost as if an invisible force pulled them toward that small dusty yard. The lead biker, the man with the silver beard named Hawk, known for his rough appearance but gentle heart, brought his motorcycle to a halt by the roadside. One by one, the others followed until 25 massive bikes lined the shoulder. Liam's eyes grew wide, his wave got bigger, his smile grew brighter. Hawk stepped off his bike. His leather vest had patches that told a long history: charity rides, veteran support, food drives, and fallen member tributes. But despite his intimidating look, his voice was calm when he walked toward Liam. "Hey, buddy," Hawk said. "That one mighty wave you got there?" Liam grinned.
"Hi, sir. Your bikes are awesome."
"They're super loud and super cool." The bikers laughed behind Hawk. Jessica peeked out the door, alarmed at first by the sudden arrival of so many huge motorcycles near her yard. But when she saw Liam smiling and the bikers being friendly, her fear softened. She stepped outside cautiously. "Mom, sorry to drop in like this," Hawk said respectfully. "Your boy here's got the kind of wave that can stop traffic." Jessica chuckled nervously. "Well, he loves motorcycles. Always has." Another biker, a woman named Blaze with bright red helmet hair, knelt beside Liam. "You ever been on a bike, kiddo?" Liam shook his head. "No, ma'am. But my daddy used to tell me he'd take me one day when I grew up. He had a bike, a small one, before he didn't come home anymore." The bikers exchanged looks. Hawk glanced at Jessica, who lowered her eyes. "I'm sorry," Blaze said softly. "Your dad must have been a cool guy." "He was," Liam said proudly. "He always told me if you wave at a biker, they'll wave back because bikers don't ignore kindness." Hawk's chest tightened at the words. Something about the boy reminded him of his own late son, who had passed years ago. "Well, he was right," Hawk replied. "And you know what? Waving back is the least we could do." He pulled out a small black bandana with the group's emblem stitched on it and handed it to Liam. "Here, every biker needs one of these." Liam stared at it like he'd just been handed a treasure. "Really, for me?" "You bet," Hawk said. The bikers spent a few minutes chatting with Liam and Jessica before getting back on their bikes. Liam waved again, and this time they gave him the loudest goodbye revs he'd ever heard. His laughter echoed through the yard long after they disappeared down the road. Jessica watched him clutch the bandana against his chest, and though life was still hard, she felt something warm, something hopeful. That night, however, things took an unexpected turn. Jessica received a call from her landlord, informing her that rent would increase starting next month. She was already struggling to stay afloat. Now it felt impossible. She sat on her small couch with her head in her hands while Liam slept peacefully in the next room, unaware of the growing storm. Maybe it was time to move in with her sister 2 towns over. Maybe she couldn't provide the life Liam deserved. The weight crushed her as she quietly cried into her palms. But the next morning, something unbelievable happened. At around 10 a.m., as sunlight warmed the front yard, the rumbling sound of engines returned, this time louder, more powerful. Liam ran to the window so fast he almost tripped.
Mom, the bikers are back, he shouted.
Jessica stepped outside, confused. The entire convoy was back, and this time there were even more bikes. At least 40 of them. Their engines shut off one by one as they lined up in front of her yard. Hawk stepped forward with Blaze and 2 other riders, carrying large boxes and bags. "Morning," Hawk said with a smile. "Hope we're not interrupting anything." Jessica shook her head slowly. "No, I wasn't expecting you." "We weren't expecting yesterday either," Blaze added. "But sometimes life nudges you in the right direction." Liam rushed barefoot toward them. "Did you come to say hi again?" "Something like that," Hawk said. "But we came for you and your mom today." Jessica looked worried. "Is something wrong?" Hawk exchanged a look with the other bikers, then turned back to her. "We went home yesterday thinking it was just another charity ride. Then this little guy's smile kept popping up in our conversations." Blaze nodded. "We couldn't stop talking about how much he reminded us of our own kids who grew up watching us ride and believing in something bigger than themselves." Hawk cleared his throat. "We don't know your situation, ma'am, but we know what struggle looks like, and what loss looks like. Too many of us have been there." Jessica felt her heart pounding. "You don't need to do anything for us. We know," Hawk said gently, "but we want to." The bikers opened the boxes. The first held groceries, enough to fill the pantry. The second held clothes for Liam, new shoes, warm jackets for winter, toys, and even a brand new red bicycle with training wheels. Liam gasped and covered his mouth. Jessica's eyes filled with tears. "We run a charity ride every month," Hawk continued. "So we took a vote last night, unanimous support. We're sponsoring Liam this year." Jessica blinked. "Sponsoring? That means school supplies, clothes, meals, whatever you need to make sure this little guy has a good life," Blaze said. "No strings attached. Just kindness." Jessica broke down crying. She knelt beside Liam, hugging him tightly. Liam looked up at Hawk.
"Oh, this is for us, for you?"
Hawk said. "Because you waved, and because sometimes the smallest wave can start the biggest ripple." But the biggest twist came when Hawk handed Jessica an envelope. Inside was a note from the biker group, 1 year of rent paid in advance. Jessica covered her mouth, sobbing harder. "I can't accept this, it's too much." "It's never too much when it comes to helping a family," Hawk said. "You've carried enough alone." The bikers spent the rest of the morning fixing things around the yard. Some repaired the broken porch steps. Others fixed a loose gutter, mowed the yard, and even patched the window Liam had accidentally cracked months earlier. They worked as if they had known the family their whole lives. But as the bikers prepared to leave, one more twist unfolded. Blaze sat down with Liam and said, "Your dad, you said he used to ride." "He did," Liam said proudly. "A small blue bike." Hawk walked over, holding a folded photo. "We got curious after we left you yesterday. One of our guys works at the DMV. He looked up a name, Walker, Michael Walker." Jessica froze. Hawk handed her the photo. It was a picture of her late husband, standing next to 2 bikers from this very convoy, smiling with his old blue motorcycle. "Your husband used to ride with us," Hawk said softly. "Years ago, before life took everyone down different roads. He was one of the kindest riders we ever had." Jessica couldn't speak. She stared at the picture, her tears falling fast. Liam touched the photo. "That's Daddy. We didn't know until last night," Blaze said. "So today isn't just charity. Today is family." Jessica hugged Hawk without hesitation. "Thank you," she whispered. "Thank you for remembering him. Thank you for helping us. Hawk's voice cracked. We're not helping. We're honoring a brother. Before leaving, the bikers circled around Liam and started their engines together. This is what we call a biker salute, Blaze explained. For someone special. Liam stood proudly as they revved loudly, filling the air with thunder. Anytime you wave at us, Hawk said over the engines, we'll always come back. They rode off, disappearing down the road. But their impact stayed forever. Jessica wiped her tears and looked at her son. See, baby, your daddy's kindness came back to us. Liam nodded. Mom, when I grow up, I want to be a biker too. I want to help people like they do. Jessica smiled. Then you will. And from that day on, the little boy who stood waving at the motorcycles became known as the Heart of Red Oak. The boy whose single wave brought back a family, restored hope, and proved that kindness always returns, sometimes louder and brighter than you ever expect. If this story touched your heart, tell me where in the country you're watching from. Let's see how far kindness travels today.